Hi, this is Troy Ray. I'm the pastor of Lakeshore Family Fellowship. I want to talk about the word sin for a few minutes. Not much of a fun word. Um, it's not. It's not usually coffee table conversation either. I think a lot of us, when we think about sin, we think about things like, what can I get away with doing and it not be a sin? If we think about it at all, if we think about it at all, like if I smoke pot but I don't inhale, is that a sin? Um, if I'm with my love interest, how far can I go and it not be a sin? And that's not really what sin even means. Sin really isn't about something done wrong. It has a very different meaning. The meaning of the word actually means to miss the target. To miss the target. So, for a person who really has no particular interest in God or any mindfulness of living for God, it's kind of like shooting with a blindfold on. There's no real cognizance of the existence of a target. Maybe you could even say there's no real concern about a target. In fact, I would say that for people who are not God aware, people who are not trying to live for God, there's probably very little concern. Perhaps the effects of conscience go back and forth on a spectrum of sorts, but as far as living for God is concerned, there may not be a lot of interest. For those of us who have a concern about living for God, some of us may even have angst about sin or about having sinned and being forgiven. And so I'd like to talk about the idea that sin is not the sum total of wrongs that I have done. Sin is an occasion when I've missed the target. And the target is doing something right. It's the target is following God, both in the letter of His Word, the Bible, and also in the prompting of our spirit within us as we live life. So, sin, living life for you and me, living life with the goal of avoiding sin, what a misery that would be. But what if it were turned around? What if it were a matter of living life pointed at a target? And, you know, sharp marksmen of all stripes, whether it be with a bow and arrow or a firearm, all know that the more you practice hitting the target, the more you're going to hit the target. The more mindful you are of the target, the more you're going to hit the target. And so, instead of having to be like the child that got caught doing something bad with a hung dog look, saying, "Did I do something bad?" We can be like the bright-eyed child that looks up to their parent and says, "Did I do something good?" Let's talk about that, shall we? I love you. We'll talk some more.